Good morning, everybody. Yes, it is the final day of 2024. And so we've talked a lot about building brick by brick in the house of bricks and building a strong foundation and turning obstacles into stepping stones. But obstacles can also become flying objects. And that is how I have felt for a good portion of this year, is not building brick by brick, but being beaten brick by brick. But hey, this is how great things are born, right? There's a process you have to go through. There's challenges. You turn obstacles into stepping stones. You build a community of great people. You build a team around you. You go through those challenges. And now, more time than ever, I am convinced that this year, and when I say this year, I'm talking about 2025, will be the greatest year of my life because of the adversity and challenges that I've faced, and also the impact that we've been able to have on other people through the House of Bricks in our community. It's just been an incredible process over the last 6 months building that and seeing the foundation. Never exciting, never fun to watch. If you've ever built a house or remodeled a house, it takes twice as long as you think it will and costs twice as much. I think we may be 5x the price, but anyway, it was all worth it, and we have a strong vision going into to 2025. So as we look at kind of closing out this year, right, we had one of our presidents, Jimmy Carter, pass away. And when you think about when people do move on to that next life, what was their purpose? What was their legacy? Who are they? I just posted a reel on this on LinkedIn. It's like, you know, when you pass away or die or whatever it is, people show up at your funeral, right? They talk about you. They say a couple good things. They go have dinner, and then really, how long are you remembered and what was your impact? Is it money you left behind? Is it people's lives you've changed? Is it donations? Is it foundations? What really is it that we are investing in with the purpose of our life? When you think about President Carter, he was a leader that faced a lot of challenges with both compassion, but he also had conviction. And his story kind of teaches us the balance between empathy and decisiveness. And those are the cornerstone of transformative leadership. And listen, I go through this every day. Okay, how do I lead people, but also understand that they're going to want to quit? They're going to face challenges. They're going to face obstacles. And how do they turn those into stepping stones? And how do you balance compassion and conviction? Because it's tough, right? You don't want people to go through the struggles that you've gone through. You want to help them overcome them. But if they don't go through the process, what did they really learn? And the best lessons in life are the ones that we never asked for. We've all got our 2024 plan. Did you execute on it? Didn't you? Are you above goal, below goal? But I promise you, if you look back at the last year and reflect on the challenges you faced, the best learnings in life are the things that we did not ask for. So today we're going to dive deep into the lessons of President Carter's leadership, and particularly how it relates to us as entrepreneurs as we navigate our own journey. So the first thing I want to talk about is the nice guy dilemma. So the more I've grown in business, the more people I've met, hey, can you introduce me to so-and-so? And they say, oh yeah, he's a really nice guy, good guy. But does a nice guy or a good guy actually equal being a good leader or a great leader? And it's tough because, again, we're all compassionate at heart. We want to help others avoid some of the challenges that we've had, which can happen through coaching, advisory, and leadership, or community mentoring. But the challenge is, it's kind of like parenting. You want your kids to go through the process, but you also want them to have a better process than you did. So President Carter, he was known for his kindness, right? Had a strong moral compass. But as leaders, we have to ask ourselves, does kindness always lead to effective decisions? So leadership, it's a balancing act, right? You have to focus on, do I want to please others? Do I risk indecisiveness? Do I lean too heavily on decisiveness? And do we risk alienation when we are very decisive? So how do we strike the balance? So I'm going to ask you a question. So you got to think about a time when you were trying to please everyone around you, but it slowed your decision-making process. What would you have done differently? Because I know in the House of Bricks, we've been building it. I started my first business when I was 19, literally had $200 out of my apartment. So I had no other choice. I had to make this work. And when I think about that process, it was challenging. There were very few mountaintops and a lot of valleys. And being a compassionate leader, you think about, how do I lead my team, but also take them through the process? So you have to think about it as a leader, as an entrepreneur, what challenges or what decisions have you had to make that you've hesitated on that actually end up costing you more because of the delay? So decisive leadership, when you're in a crisis, you think about, President Carter and his time in office, it was marked by the Iran hostage crisis and the energy crisis, okay? It teaches us that clear, timely decisions, even when unpopular, are critical. And entrepreneurs, we face that every day. We're trying to disrupt an industry. We're trying to disrupt a way that people are doing business. How do you think they're going to take that? People love the status quo. They love it when they show up at their job and they look good. So I remember with Qualmetrics, our healthcare analytics business, the number one thing that chief medical officers wanted was, how can you make me look good and how can you make my job easier? Well, when you think about leadership, challenging times and disrupting industries, none of that is going to be easy, but the outcome on the other side is always worth it. So if you think about, like President Carter, we all face moments that are going to define our trajectory. Okay. So for him, it was the national crisis. For us, it may be a product launch. It may be a tough client decision, or you have to change strategy. And Paul's not visible on this live event, but I can certainly see him smiling with all the changes in strategy that we've had in the House of Bricks. But it's through that methodology of testing, failing, and pay attention to this. You have to learn and then you grow. So a lot of entrepreneurs, leaders, we test and we fail and we don't learn from the process. Well, you continue to complete the cycle of testing and failing. But if you don't learn, you're not going to grow. And so that's the important part as a leader, as an entrepreneur, is you have to take time to reflect. And I'm sitting here, I've got probably 10 journals next to my desk of, things I'm reflecting on. So it's very important as leaders is that we're taking that time to reflect. And the best form of leadership is always self-leadership. So how you lead others or how you lead yourself is how you're going to lead others. And so, you think about that product launch, hey, it's not quite ready. Well, once you get it to market, you get feedback from your customers, you get feedback from your team. Hey, this works. Hey, this doesn't. So get your product to market. Tough client decisions. And it's not just taking on a new client, but as entrepreneurs, we see opportunity. Hey, this person wants to write me a check, but are they the right client? So it's easy to say yes to clients. It's more difficult to say no, but I can promise you over time, it's actually more valuable to say no to clients that are not a fit at the right time for what it is that you offer and the problems you're going to solve. So, you think about leadership, you think about entrepreneurship, you think about, President Carter, it's the ability to make tough decisions, but also make them with compassion. So if you think about the House of Bricks and what we're doing now, the coaching industry itself is valued at over 20 billion. Okay. So people see the value in coaching. They see the value in advisory. They see the value in self-leadership, and the industry is continuing to grow. And the reason is that, again, the better your team is, the better they can lead themselves, the better they can lead their other team members and also make an impact in the clients. So coaching industry is booming. We all see the value. A lot of options out there, whether you work with me or any other advisor. From the beginning of my business career, I've always had good advisors, good mentors, good coaches. And it's not that they will help you skip the challenges, but they will help you avoid what, David Meltzer talks about, which is the dummy tax, mistakes that you will make or could make that will take a long time to recover from. They can help guide you at least in the right direction and keep you on track. So as you think about, for you and your business as an entrepreneur, what is one post-crisis reinvention plan that you have in place today? So we're all here, end of 2024. Oh, I'm so excited for tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is just another day on the calendar. Everyone loves New Year's resolutions. The gyms bank on it, right? Everyone gets a new gym membership. I'm sure it'll be packed at Equinox today, probably even tomorrow. People ready to get after, ready to get started. But you have to think about, what is your plan that you want for 2025? What worked in 2024? What didn't? And how can I change in 2025? And that's how you'll turn those obstacles into stepping stones. So lessons for us as an entrepreneur, okay? There's a lot of strength in tough love. So we all think about love as this thing. Well, I've got to be kind. I've got to do what everyone says. I've got to help other people, right? We talked about this in the House of Bricks. Lead with the give first mindset. Well, it's not always who can I help, but you have to ask yourself, who can I help the most? And then I've added another piece to this is who actually wants my help. Okay. So that's another challenge that leaders face is, are you leading people that want to be led? If the answer is yes, then of course they'll go through the process. If the answer is no, then how do you get them to want to be led by you? And we talked about this earlier. It's that form of self-leadership. So you think about, President Carter's push for renewable energy, way ahead of its time. In fact, it's very popular today, but his vision reflected the courage for him to stand out with his own convictions. So as entrepreneurs, we're trying to disrupt an industry. We're trying to change the way things are done. So the more conviction you have, because it's going to take it, your dreams are going to meet reality. You're going to start your MVP, your 1.0 version. And guess what? The market's not going to like it, but you have to be convicted. You have to stand strong in what it is that you believe that you're going to do, how you're going to disrupt it. So as you look at your business, what are you hesitating to act on because you fear standing alone? Because it's lonely at the top. It's lonely disrupting an industry. It's lonely trying to change the way things are done. But over time, of course, those things prove to be effective as long as you stay convicted, you're solving a real problem, you identify a need, and you have an affordable or valuable way of doing it. And so as we talk about, again, President Carter, his compassion really reshaped lives. And it's interesting, like at the time, he wasn't viewed as the best leader, right? Just not being strong and living with conviction. But it was, again, that balance of compassion and conviction that we have to go through as entrepreneurs. So leadership is not about being liked. It's about making decisions that are going to build and leave a legacy. And you've heard me talk about this before. Your legacy is not a deathbed decision. When you are in the cemetery, you can't make any changes. So maybe you left money behind, maybe you left business behind, but it's not what we leave behind that is our legacy. It is who we are when we're here. That's what people remember. That's what can sustain over time. I mean, the human, culture was founded on storytelling. People love to tell stories. My grandfather was so-and-so. My mom and dad did this. We all want to talk about who a person was when they were here, not necessarily what they leave behind. So I want to challenge you today is to reflect on your leadership style. Are you leading with conviction? Are you leading with compassion? Right? Do you have clarity in where you want to go? And that is one of, my great giftings is being a visionary. I know where I am now, where I want to go, but I'm not the best on the strategy all the time of how we're going to get there. So either you can develop those skills on your own, hire the right team around you, or just continue, to go through or grow through the process. So leadership is not about being liked. It's about making decisions that are going to build your legacy, the impact you're making on your industry. So I want to challenge you again, take a look at your leadership style. And you don't have to have the title of leader to be a leader. Okay. Leadership starts with the most important person on this StreamYard today, which is you. You have to figure out who you are now, who you want to be, and how you're going to get there. And how you lead yourself is going to be what leads and inspires others. So leadership is not a title. Entrepreneurship, you don't have to own your own business. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. And the better you lead yourself, the better you're going to lead other people. And so I want to thank you for spending time with me on this today. We're honoring the life of President Carter. And let's also honor our own journeys by embracing courageous, purpose-driven leadership. So I want to ask you as we wrap up 2024, what is one action you're going to take? And it says, I was thinking this week, but what are you going to take? What action are you going to take right now that has clarity and purpose? Are you going to comment in the chat saying I'm all in? Are you going to follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is, or follow anyone, a coach, advisor, motivating people? Again, we talk about the relationship capital flywheel, being mentored by other people, having peers that you're climbing the mountain with. That's our community. And where a lot of people miss out is mentoring other people. So no matter where you are in life, you have the ability to impact someone else in where they are. And if you've overcome any challenges they're facing, then you have an authority to lead them through that. So have advisors, have a community, mentor others, and of course, always focus, and it is not selfish, focus on leading yourself. The better you lead yourself, the better you can lead your family, and the better you can lead other people and make an impact in your industry. So the balance of compassion and conviction, there isn't a right answer. It's situational awareness. It's seasonal awareness of where you are, the team you're leading, the impact you're trying to make. So I want to wish everyone a happy new year here as we close out 2024. The House of Bricks Foundation has been built brick by brick. And yes, I've had a few bricks thrown at me, as I mentioned earlier, but I feel really good. So I want to thank everyone for listening today. Thank you for your support on social media. Thanks for your belief in the House of Bricks mission. And I look forward to seeing everyone with the cheesy comment of, I will see you next year. So thanks everybody for a great 2024, and we will see you in 2025.